we're gonna do a test. I'm gonna leave the user plate. We're gonna video record to see exactly what do I get out of this oil here. What exactly that looks like. They are very, very smart. But they made a lot of mistakes. Even this right now did not go through. They know I record, and I also know they record. So this is not going to be necessary anymore to inspect the level of the liquid. What will be necessary, however, is the date here. So October the 15th, 2023, 5W40, the quality RL was inserted inside of the car. Gonna put this stuff inside like this. Easy thing to do is basically to do this, and that will do the job for me. Basically that will do the job for me. So very, very, very simple, no? Very, very simple way. I don't have to even store samples of this stuff. Why, when I can video record the whole fucking thing? The police told me like this. They told me, you're gonna be driving with this stuff only like 3 months, something like this. This is not done solely by my mother, but it was all coordinated by the police, who told me, I don't know, by the March or something like this, next year, which is almost here, February, something like this, by the March they guarantee me, if you're still driving with this, obviously this oil, it will be finished. They flashed in front of me when it was spring, saying to me, well, if you're still driving with this, your car is finished. Na, Andreja, tu je olje.
Ja?
Vidiš ten.
Ja?
Vidiš kako izgleda?
Vidim.
Kako izgleda?
Ja, lej.
Za en kurac, ne?
Popackano je vse.
Je?
Je.
Bi ti vozila s takim, kot je tole?
Ja, lej.
Ne, povej mi, če bi vozila s takim, kot ona, meni ne verjame. Jaz sem ji rekel, lej, bom
Vse
šel.
boš zrihtal, vse boš tja.
Ne dovolj. Ne dovolj olja zamenjati, jaz bi ga. Ne dovolj filtra zamenjati,
Lahko
ničesar. Ona ima svoje mehanike, prav. To je vse. Pa adijo. So it looks very, very bad. I can even see the wear and tear actually from the engine. Look at that. I think that's from the engine. That's really interesting one. That's actually maybe even from the engine, I don't know. No good. I don't think I need to say anything. I can feel the parts inside, you know. You can feel the parts inside, the metal parts. So pa je bil tu lavor tle, ki sem imela nastavljen. Kaj je bilo? Tam noter je bila tista tekočina, ali kaj je bilo? I did this so that you can see the parts inside of the oil. You can see the black dots. Those dots are parts, actually, particles. Like this. I did fill them. You can feel them. This is from the engine. So, Mama says it's all good. It's no problem. We did not make a lot of kilometers, that is true, but we made too many kilometers when considering the quality of the oil. It's always, the oil should be replaced every 6 months. They say one way or the other, even if you don't drive the car very much. But if you don't drive the car very much, I would say maybe about 8-9 months, maybe something like this. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe even a year. Even if you don't drive the car very much, maybe even a year. But why to argue with this? I mean, why not do the job? Why not replace the oil if you see something like this? This is what I don't understand. Why to make the logic out of something like this? I have to argue in my life about the stuff like this. This is how low it broke down, the whole thing. The car, what happened was, the car was inspected by the mechanic yeah, I would say about maybe 3 months ago, and mechanic stated that there is no need to replace the oil in the car. About 3 months ago, I would estimate the car was inspected by the mechanic. Or maybe even 2 months ago, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. But what is interesting, there's one thing interesting. My mother told me, well, because there is no time yet, it's just the oil is good, etc., etc., etc. If you don't replace the oil once per year, even if you drive the car very little, or you don't even drive the car, then you are insane, if you ask me. That's what I would say to you when it comes to the engine, when it comes to machine. The law is that you replace one in every 12 months. Now, if you are driving the car and you make kilometrage the way you're supposed to, you're supposed to replace the oil on the car, maybe perhaps even every 6 months. It all depends on the kilometers, or perhaps even 3 months interval. I don't know how many kilometers do you have. We didn't make a lot of kilometers. This is the thing, I agree with it, but still once per year this must be replaced. And it was not replaced since October the, I don't know, 23rd or 25th, as it says, as I demonstrated earlier. Really, really, really is lunacy. The oil, Aral oil, Vladimir Putin was here. Okay, that's the point. And wanted to know from other oil manufacturers about the oil. And they struggled with me, convincing me that Aral oil, motor oil, engine oil is just as good quality. There is a free commercial for Vladimir Putin right here. It's just as good oil as a Castrol or whatever they claim. Now, I would not go into it, but basically this is what they claimed, and that there is very, very little money that you spend on, and they also claim that this is the original oil for the Volkswagen Polo. So I don't fucking know anything about it. I never touched this car. I never was allowed to touch the car. The only thing I was allowed is to turn the steering wheel and use the gear box. That's all there is to it. But what they do, what they put inside, how they do this and that. Police was the one who was playing with the engine lights, with the engine, with a transmission. We have Mr. Božičnik fucking up transmission here. I remember him continuously, ongoingly having a problem with a transmission that would produce really crazy sound on this car. And then they went ahead and then they had mechanics study where that comes from and so on. This car was just as investigated as absolutely everything else by the police and by several mechanics. Neighbor Andrei Ul was involved in it. Mechanic that serviced this car was involved in it. Another mechanic here from the village. And they had also some other mechanics that were involved in it, and they inspected and went through every issue and so on and so forth. By the December, they told me, by the new year, sometimes by the new year, they told me, psychiatrist Kopsh was talking to me about this. Your car is as good as garbage if you don't by the December. Another issue important to stress. I forgot what I was going to say, but this is, again, a police work. You can say this and that, but with this issue here, they were trying to cover up for other issues because my mother claims that I broke the whole house. So this was to be one more issue that would pertain to me as breaking the house. You know, another thing interesting, this is like completely insane. I mean, I never heard anything like this. My mother is verbally very aggressive. You cannot, well, she would not even argue with you, but when it comes to me, she is ready to jump in my eyes, literally. This is how the police tutored her to be. This is basically the way it is. And there is no way to make her a point or say anything, argue with her, or whatever you try to do. It's a dead-end street. The police officers from Novo Mesto police station insisted it is your job to make sure that the car, even like this, even like fuck how, like what? I am not allowed to change the tires of the car. I'm not allowed to change the filter and oil in the car. I'm not allowed to touch the fucking car. I'm not allowed to do anything, absolutely anything other than to use a gear shift and a gas pedal, basically steering wheel. That's all there is. And they started to abuse me during MK Ultra. When the car supposedly already failed. They were demonstrating me over there at Raguska. You did not change the oil, and stuff like that. I was like, what? and they started the dialogue. So this is like they presented this as like a form of help to me. What fucking help is this? What fucking help? What kind of form of help is this? What is this shit? Wasting my fucking time, wasting my fucking life, wasting my fucking health, destroying things, vandalizing, breaking absolutely entire house, the whole fucking thing, the whole family. And this is what this is. What kind of form of help is this? You're supposed to go and check anyways, even in the mechanic. Yes, motherfuckers, yes. Yes, I always do on my cars. I always do on my cars. Yes, I do. I do. As you motherfuckers know, on my Honda Accord, when you came to the Minnesota, they put the wrong oil inside of the car. The oil was not in the Minnesota, but in the Chicago. They didn't put the wrong oil. The oil was okay. I was the one who made a mistake. I put the viscosity. I ordered the mechanics to put me a viscosity of the oil, which I purchased myself. That's how I do it. If I take the car to mechanic, I bring my own oil with it. Why am I doing this? Because the mechanics even have a tendency to let the oil sit and collect the oil from the top and put one back inside of the car and stuff like this. It's all kinds of shit that goes on, leaving the particles to sink down, and that it's all kinds of scam that goes on. They call this like reconditioned oil and stuff like that. Well, the thing is that if you purchase yourself oil and you take one to mechanic and you watch him changing the oil, you're okay, you know for sure. And that's about the only time and the only way I take my car to mechanic. I don't allow my car to sit at the mechanic and wait to come to a turn to be serviced. You know what I mean? As soon as I arrived to Minnesota, and I think it was not a month, maybe 14 days before I departed to Minnesota from Chicago in 2009, 2008, 2009, I don't know. It was not even 1 month when I arrived to Minnesota, the cold weather started. It did not even take me a day or two when I realized that the car doesn't start immediately because this is a problem with the viscosity. I immediately went and I purchased new oil filter and new oil, etc., and fixed the problem immediately. I'm very, very attention detail when it comes to this kind of issue. So the car started again, like the way it's supposed to. Because of the cold weather, it's a different viscosity that applies to the vehicles up north than it does down south, etc., etc., etc. So I don't know, and they knew, the police that was, Novo Mesto police was driving literally my Honda Accord. That is fucking insane. It was American police that actually even stopped them. And, well, they told me, you must identify me, etc., etc., and so on. Well, you know, you fucking allow Slovenian police to literally steal the car without having a license or privilege to operate vehicle on the road, and allow him literally to get away with a police stop on a highway, on a road, wherever it was. It was a police that stopped us. They got him. Robert Golop was, whoever was inside of the car, they got him, driving my car, literally. Yeah, he'll want to fucking teach me about the detail, about the, how I should be detailed about what the mechanic do. The mechanics don't touch my car. My car's mechanics don't even touch. Mechanic touch my car if it's got something to do with some kind of problem with the engine or transmission, something that will take me too much time or whatever, instruments or whatever to do. Otherwise, I do the shit myself. Brakes and stuff like this, I'll go and I'll do that with the mechanics. If they have a special, if they run special that is cheaper, Brakes also difficult to change and so on. But you know, when it comes to exhaust and oil change and stuff, I do that shit myself. I look forward to put good parts on the car. I'm not cheap with it. So this comes to me rather insane, not strange. Teaching me about how to keep the car in a good shape. And this Bubblers, the neighbor here, had about almost 4,500 euros salary every month. And I am on, I'm not going to say on a low income, I'm on a zero budget, they keep me. And I get a piece of advice, imagine this, from police officers. The mother stated me it will be a mechanic that will come to inspect the car. What? The mechanic will come all the way here to inspect the fucking car? Rather than to... I don't have any words. Does it pay off to come here and to see the oil that was changed over a year ago, to see if the oil is already to change? I mean, I don't have the words for it. This is bullshit. The Slovenian police recommends Aral oil. It's called Aral oil. This is like a lake, they fuck it up, Russians. Aral, you know. Putin wants you to buy Aral oil. Yes, very good. The name is the same like Aral Lake. The one that the Russians made disappear. Aral Lake. About the disaster almost as big as a Chernobyl. Not so fucking big, but quite big. So Putin is advising you to buy the Aral oil, and it would be really awesome if you can do that. They even call him Aral C. Aral C. This one. If you can do this during the war in the Ukraine, it will be appreciated. Otherwise, Aral is in Uzbekistan. They say it's autonomous. Yes, it is. Of course, it's autonomous. I thought the Ukraine is autonomous, but Kalashnikov keeps working there. Look, there is also a humor that my mother delivered. Given that this guy is me here. Yeah. I can agree with this one, you know. Sometimes the kind of help you just don't need or appreciate. Americans would say appreciate. This was the word from Joe Biden, appreciate. And I said, the type of help, I say, fuck it. Sometimes you just don't need. I also highly doubt that Aral oil would be the original oil from the Volkswagen. Or maybe it is, maybe it is, I don't know. But I kind of doubt about that this would be the original oil from the Volkswagen. Okay? Now that the dealers here in Novo Mesto city use one obviously for the Volkswagen cars, that's one thing, but I have to express honestly doubt that Volkswagen would be using Aral oil. That's just the way I see it. Not. Aral oil issue was involved in MK Ultra. I see I have already made a mistake. Aral oil. No. Who owns Aral oil? The company behind the brand name Aral AG is owned by BP, but was established in 1898. Oh, that's like 125 years prior to today. As Westdeutsche Benzoeverkaufvereinigung GmbH, West German Benzin Marketing Corporation. Wow, man. This is the stuff I was actually told by also husband from my niece. Don't you know? Don't you know? I completely understand why people go fucked up when they are subjected to MK Ultra because of these memes that are involved in it. I mentioned earlier already that people with the grammar school were involved in it. Everybody had equal bullshit. I'm not gonna say, but bullshit. So, a German oil company, Aral AG, established 1898, etc., etc. BP, British conglomerate BP purchased it in 2002. Yeah, I know something little about the BP. BP was one of major sponsors of this case. BP was this was a main sponsor of me. This is one main sponsor of me was BP. Maybe that's why I look so fucked up. I'm not surprised. It really was. That's what they claimed. The BP, everywhere BP. And they got into the business in Kazakhstan, in Russia, through this case. They did. And they were my sponsor, boy. They were my big sponsor, my big protector. They heavily sided with me. And look at that. If you go and you scroll down like I did, you're going to take time to read this. You're going to learn that on the bottom, the page belongs to the Wikipedia I'm demonstrating you right now. Yeah. Is the page they demonstrated to me during MK Ultra. Exactly the stuff I'm demonstrating you right now. Aral AG is an official long-term recommended fuel of various Volkswagen Group marques, including Volkswagen, Audi, Lamborghini, Seat, Skoda, Ford, Jaguar. No, that's different. That's already Ford, Jaguar, Land Rover, Mazda. They're still not under the Volkswagen, Renault. Those are still independent, whatever, including Alpine and Dacia. And Volvo for automobiles, as well as a MAN for trucks, buses in Germany. Aral AG is also official long-term recommended fuel of Triumph. Yo, this is, oh, I almost feel like I'm under MK Ultra because this is what they brainwashed me with, to see the world as. Fuck, you're gonna say, like I said myself just a few minutes ago. So then it doesn't have nothing to do with the Putin, my God. Really? I already stated a little earlier. It's owned by the BP since 2002. Are they not gonna answer anything about this stuff here? Probably not. So what we're gonna do is Russia. British Petroleum entered the Russian market in 1990 and opened its first service station in Moscow in 96-97. It acquired a 10% of 570 million Russian oil company Sidanko, which later became a part of wherever BP. Sidanko was run by Russian oligarch Vladimir Potanin. It's not Putin, it's Potanin. Be nice. Who obtained Zidanko? You see, I thought that they were trying to set me up with a schizophrenia when I mentioned earlier that it was Putin that insisted on Aral oil. Oh, there is nothing much going on. As you see, it sounds kind of boring. In 2003, BP invested 8 billion into joint venture with the Russian oligarch Mikhail Friedman. There you go. There's still something about the Russian billionaires, etc., etc. Russian invasion on Ukraine 2022, like there was no invasion in 2014, but okay, etc., etc., etc. Pretty much. This is what I was looking forward to. This shit is what I was looking forward to. 20% stake in a Russia state-controlled oil company, Rosneft. That's the stuff I wanted to accent. Let's go a little bit here. All the oil companies were my promoter. Go well, go Shell for sure. Texaco. Remember the war in Iraq? Let me demonstrate you this. BP imports oil from, I'm gonna make it shorter than Wikipedia for you. Right? So we're not gonna waste time or that. We're gonna make this short, brief. It's British, it's London. 60% of BP oil. They tell you exactly how it's done. And let's go a little bit on the top. Hoppa. Oh shit. 2022 onwards, North America became the company largest producing region. That's why. I was gonna say that's right. That's right. But what happened? I would expect a different answer to this stuff here. And I still don't get any answer to it. Now they're getting really cheap with this. I wasn't wrong about it. I'm sure you heard about the Rosneft. You did heard about the Rosneft? That's the one. I kind of feel almost surreal based on the answers I got previously. This here is what makes a BP. Russia. I would also know everything about the Russian oil companies. Yes, because they were all involved in this stuff. Every one of them. This not Putin here? Putin, okay. I was at all the Russian oil platforms at Russian facilities, ploščadi, oilne ploščadi, I don't even know how you say that, the oil, whatever, they pump the oil, etc., etc., etc. Since, that's what I'm trying to make the point, since early 80s, as a child already, they would have me visit this Russian oil, where Russian production of oil through Kazakhstan, through gas, oil, all that stuff. This was always the main thing from the Russia. The main weapon was oil, gas. This is what powered Russia. not only in sense of gasoline, oil, whatever, but in terms of war on other countries. This is exactly what this is all about. So I don't know. The Slovenian police recommends this here. All right, if that's what it's for, sure. Why not?